That's by the Dutch artist Claudy, C-L-A-U-D-Y, Youngstra, J-O-N-G-S-T-R-A. She literally has her own flock of 600 sheep, which she shears. She raises vegetables and flowers, which she presses into natural dyes to create these.
So that's fabric.
It's fabric, and so it's an acoustic panel with fabric that hides our stereo speakers, but also helps to keep the sound down. If any of you guys have ever been to an event in the Petri Court is about the same size as this space, but I think you find the sound in here is actually much more manageable than in the Petri Court. The floor, as I was saying earlier, is a Brazilian walnut called ipe. It's a reclaimed wood that was taken from the structure that was supporting the Coney Island boardwalks, which they're in the process of replacing, much to the chagrin of most of the residents in Brooklyn. We now have it here in Philadelphia. The structure that you see here is a vestibule wrapped in bronze. You'll see the bronze throughout the project has a patina, a kind of dark finish that flattens it and gives it this dark quality. That actually provides return air for this entire space, but also is a vestibule to get you outside. The veil, which we call this glass plane at the top, that brings natural light into the offices. You'll see on the outside of the building there weren't a lot of punched openings on the window on the outside of the building, but this gives the offices still a huge amount of natural light. The light canopy above is basically a massive diffusing element to bring natural light into the space and modulate it so that when we're bringing light into the windows, into the galleries, we're not bringing in too many foot candles of light. When we were studying, foot candles is a measurement of the amount of light that's illuminating a surface. When you're talking about conserving art, you need to be making sure that you're not putting too many of those foot candles on the art, otherwise it starts to fade and do other things that we obviously don't want to damage.
Explain the light box again.
Okay, so basically there's a window that's vertical, like so. And the light comes in that window, and then there's this fin, which is that projection right there. And then on the other side, there's a plane, and the light comes in and bounces across it, and then comes down. But what's never happening is we're never getting direct sunlight. We're always getting reflected light. So the plaster itself is beginning to absorb some of the power of the rays and bounce the light all around. And on a cloudy day, it's really cool because it's kind of like God with a dimming switch. You know, the light sort of goes up and down, and hopefully today actually you might see that. And then outside we have the same form, only we flipped it and we faced it north so that the two volumes, the two ceilings always look a little bit different. I mean, this is something James Turrell plays with light in the same way. So this is the main entrance into the galleries. We have magnificent bronze doors. From this threshold forward is where you actually get into the galleries being almost the exact same dimension as the galleries in the original Marion building. Okay? Well, so this little platform here, which we call the mezzanine, the floor to floor, which is the dimension from the first floor to the second floor, is 20 feet, which is actually quite a lot to do on your legs. So we want to be able to introduce a landing, a place for people to kind of occupy and enjoy. What it also allowed us to do is take half of the objects that were on the balcony of the second floor, which if any of you have been out to Marion, was this sort of death trap where people are looking at the joy of life, they're trying to dodge people coming up the stairs, and then they're trying not to knock over, you know, a magnificent sculpture or figurine. So we've taken half that collection, put it on the mezzanine, making more space upstairs. On the second floor, you'll see the Joy of Life has now been given its own gallery along with the two adjacent tapestries, so you can see it at eye level rather than 6 feet above your head. And then, of course, as I've been talking about, the classrooms and the insertion of the gallery garden are also different. Other than that, we've changed everything and nothing. The dimensions are the same, but every single detail has been reconceived to simplify and intensify the collection so that it's really much more luminous and much more wonderful to look at. And we think we really succeeded there. You guys will ultimately be the judge. That's a simple way. Exactly.